I often hear people say, I've lost it, I've lost it. And in my experience, especially a few years ago, when I would be really in touch with this divinity, in touch with source, um, and feeling so blissful and feeling so divine, and everything is, that moment where everything is exactly as it needs to be, and we see through all of it. But the thing we must understand that nothing is constant. Everything is fleeting. So if you might feel like, oh, I'm losing my enlightenment, I'm losing my awakening, that's actually the mind clinging on to that blissful state. And that's actually what we, or what I don't know if you like to call it, what I like to call spiritual materialism. In everything there is materialism to cling on to, and also in the path of awakening, the materialism that we gain through becoming more conscious, the state of singularity, the bliss, the here and nowness, the presence. We all come to experience that at one point in our spiritual path. But it becomes destructive and even toxic when our mind is trying to cling on to this experience, because in the end it's just an experience, and a source is always there, but we will always go in different states. It's like the clouds. The sky is the presence, the blue bright sky is the presence and the source and the blissfulness that's always there. But you cannot control the weather. Sometimes it becomes stormy again, and it doesn't mean you're less awakened or you're less enlightened. It just means there's a storm. It's nothing more than that. And in the spiritual community, especially in the non-duality community, there are some dysfunctional beliefs on emotions. And it's so important just to experience them. They are there, just like if you walk outside and you experience the rain. It's natural. Just experience it. You can walk through the rain like, I don't want this. I'm not enlightened. It's not blissful. You feel the insanity in that one, like, this isn't divinity. This isn't blissfulness. This isn't source. It's raining. Yes, it's part of source. It's very much part of source. Just don't identify with it. Just experience it. Feel it. And it will dissipate again. And then you might see the blue sky. You might experience the presence, the singularity, the divinity in everything, the interconnectedness and the love in each and every one. A few months ago, I went through, as some people know, I went through this activation of my third eye and crown chakra kundalini awakening, and I experienced for at least a week or something this blissfulness, this interconnectedness. I was just loving each and everything and everyone. And in that state, it doesn't mean that in that state I am more enlightened than because it will not last. And of course it didn't last. After a while I'd start experiencing clouds again, and sometimes storms again. And this is what life is about. This is what embodied and awakened living is about. It's not rejecting anything. Behind the rain, behind the storm, behind the winds, there's always this ever pervading stillness, this ever pervading blissfulness. And sometimes you see people act a certain way. It's like they think that there is this image of how an enlightened or awakened person should radiate, should interact with people, what they shouldn't say, what they shouldn't eat, or what clothes they shouldn't wear, all that, what music they shouldn't listen to. This is all mental jibber jabber. This is all the mind wanting to make, and I find that even the most toxic identification is when people start experiencing singularity, and then they start making their ego takes over, and it starts making a story of what this is supposed to look like in life. How they start to commercialize it, so to say. You have to become vegan. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with becoming vegan. If you feel like you need to do that, then please do so. It's about this vast this contracted story about this is what enlightenment looks like. This is what being awakened looks like. A beautiful example of this is Osho. He was very much in tune with singularity and Divine Mother. He knows it, he has understood it on some level, but his ego started to run with the image, to picture what it looks like to be this guru, for the people. His bodyguard even he came out of the closet with this, that I don't know if you guys know that, but Osho really wrestled with low back pain quite a lot. And he sometimes needed to take shots for it, or medication. I don't know what it was, but that medication really made him very loose and truthful. And as he was laying there in this room, influenced by the mats, he literally said, where his bodyguard was in the same room, "Oh, thank God! I finally can stop pretending I'm enlightened." So he was enslaved by his own ego of the story, what it looks like to be an enlightened person. And there are so many more. You see this in this time frame a lot, where a lot of so-called gurus are being exposed big time. It's not anything wrong with it. It doesn't mean they're bad people. They're also doing it to themselves. It's not that they manipulate the collective or the crowd that he's influencing, but he's also, people in that state of mind are also manipulating themselves. So there are quite some people who have followed these kind of gurus, and it's an experience for your own karma. And just experience all the emotions that arise, maybe anger, maybe betrayal, maybe, it doesn't matter what arises. It's all food for your inner alchemy to take in that experience, to understand the true self better. Especially in the beginning of my channel, there were quite some people that when I would make a video in which I was peaceful or in a good mood, or in, everything was okay. But then when I would make a very raw video where there were clouds and storm also, and presence was there, but there was grief or fear or anger or whatever it was, people felt the urge to teach me that I was identified with something, that I was, the riddle. The people who are for a long time already in this spiritual rat race, they absorb all these stories about, oh, if you're fearful, you're identified with this, or if you're sad, you're too much identified with that. Just please let that go. That is what I so passionately want to expose through my channel, that the moments I make a video in where I have to cry, it doesn't mean I lost presence, doesn't mean I lost a sense of there is no losing anything, you guys. Please understand, source is always there. And experiencing emotions, emoting, is actually just letting things happen. It is not resisting. It's something different if I'm going to act on it, and I'm going to scold people, or I'm going to pick fights with people, or, if I'm really picking it up, if I'm picking up the sadness, if I'm really picking up the anger by acting things out, that is being completely identified. But just unloading, discharging what the nervous system wants to release, is actually very healthy. It's what animals also do. Look at nature, and you see that discharge of emotion is actually a quite healthy thing to do, or else it will remain stuck in your system. It will start getting frozen, and in time it will build up in discomfort, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical discomfort. And we came out of this era, especially in the 60s, where there, after the war, where a lot of gurus stood up, and they had this, this authoritative, almost patriarchal presence about them. Like, I am the all-knowing, and I'm a constant awareness, and this image. It's done. It's play with, you guys. It's not real. We have evolved beyond this. So please let go of the thought, I am less than, or I'm dysfunctional because I feel things, because I have to cry, because I'm angry, because I don't know what, any kind of emotion. The whole point of awakening is becoming more human, not less. The divine feminine is really making its entrance in this collective, in this universe again, finally, after so many thousands of years of patriarchal toxicity. The divine feminine and divine masculine are coming into a healthy balance again. That's what makes an awakened or enlightened human, to be balanced, to feel or experience what there needs to be experienced, but also from the divine masculine, be that presence, be that void that holds everything, that holds the whole creation of the divine mother. You don't have to choose between one or the other. It's all there. Because maybe now we will start to have a movement where some souls will maybe overly identify with the divine feminine and make that more important than the divine masculine. That is a counter reaction of all those thousands of years patriarchy, but it's also a survival mechanism to start clinging on to, oh, only divine feminine is good and functional. No, it's not. We need balance. Much love.